I want to welcome you all here today. We just saw the city's year in review. I know some of you I saw were watching and paying attention, others weren't. Please, please go online and take a peek if you weren't glued to the city council meeting on Monday and haven't had a chance to see it, because it really does do an overview of everything that's happened in the city, not specific to the mayor's office or work I'm doing, but work that all of the wonderful folks do here. I want to recognize any elected officials who are in the room. If you're city, state, local, whatever, if you're here, would you stand, please, so you can be recognized? We have a number of elected officials here. Thank you. It's always such an honor to be able to serve with such wonderful people, and I know the community feels well represented by the folks that were standing. I'm going to ask Valerie to come up and do a land acknowledgement for us to get us started today. Valerie?
Good morning. Hahinipi Haukoda. These are the first languages that were spoken in this area. As we gather today to reflect on the state of our city, it is important to acknowledge that this land, now known as Rochester, Minnesota, rests on the ancestral and unceded lands of the Dakota people. This region has been home to indigenous people for thousands of years, including the Dakota, the Ho-Chunk, and later the Anishinaabe people. The city of Rochester recognizes the historic and cultural contemporary contributions and significance of indigenous people, Native Americans, and also First Nations people. We acknowledge that indigenous people experience displacement and recognize the painful history of colonization, forced removals, broken treaties, enslavement, family separation, and great loss of life at the hands of governing bodies. This acknowledgement is not an end, but a beginning, a call to action for us to build relationships of respect, reciprocity, and partnership with indigenous communities. The city of Rochester commits to continuous learning, repairing, harm, and honoring the land and the people who cared for and continue to care for the land that we reside on. We stand committed to fostering a future grounded in equity, justice, and understanding. Pinagigi.
Thank you, Valerie. Next up, I'm going to ask our poet laureate, Jean Procott, to share a piece that she's written for us today.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for welcoming poetry to this space. This poem is about students. I'm a teacher, so they often trend that way. And it is about what we become when we become adults and what we owe our students because they are still children. It's called Baby Teeth. This is a true story, which is important. 5 kindergartners broke out of school, escaped in calculated chaos. The adults' attempt to herd them was like pouring Coca-Cola on an anthill. The getaway's leader hollered, "Let's go steal," in the way someone screams, "Food fight," before the pudding flies. They took their jailbreak across the street and then to a gas station where they busted through those doors like they'd been reborn, running up and down each aisle in a game of supermarket sweep, tearing into candy bars in search of a golden ticket, taking single bites of snack cakes, leaving teeth marks and dropping the rest to the floor in search of another better sugar. They left wrappers in their wake, sour cream and onion flakes, Cheetos crumbs and half-chewed gums, Funyuns, Doritos, Frito scoops, and Skittles behind like rainbow rabbit poops. They dodged grown-ups, they ducked, they snuck, they shrieked and laughed, they ran amok, until they met at the Grail, the slushy machine, where the leader pulled cups from the dispenser so eagerly piles of them fell to the floor. They needed just one. They filled blue raspberry to the brim and passed the chalice around the circle. No one hogged. They felt high fructose brain freeze pulse in their heads but kept going. Their lips and the around parts, those parts that chapped raw in the red in the winter from so much licking, blue. Their tongues blue. Their esophaguses blue. Their guts blue. This is their story. It is a true story, and we desperately need it to be ours. Rochester, let's go steal. Let's open our throats under the nozzle and swallow frozen, artificial, forbidden fruits. Let's live in a world with no currency, only sugar rush, with consequences as impermanent as baby teeth. Cavities deep, but they fall out anyway. Open your body to blue raspberry baptism, brief, icy asphyxiation. They didn't believe us when we said recess was enough. They acted on the dream that something inside of you forbids. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. We're going to have, as we have for the past several years, we're going to have three of our elected officials come speak, one from the city, one from the county, and one from the school board. And then Patrick Sieb from Destination Medical Center is going to give a short, brief talk before I give my State of the City. So I would welcome up Randy Schubring.
Thank you, Mayor, and welcome, everybody. When it comes to streets, roads, and construction, we kicked up a lot of dust in Rochester in 2025, and we'll kick up a lot more this year. But rest assured, the air will clear, not completely in 2026, but enough to see the light at the end of our construction morass. We are moving from underground infrastructure to visible progress. Construction is advancing downtown and throughout the community, and we will feel that impact in real ways. Streets will be busy, routes will shift, but change will be visible. Construction continues along the Link Bus Rapid Transit Corridor, expanding beyond 2nd Street itself into major stations, an underground tunnel, and pedestrian connections. On Broadway, work is nearly complete. Early this year, traffic controls will be removed and all lanes reopened. In the spring, bike and pedestrian paths, transit stops, and landscaping will be completed, marking a visible transformation of this important corridor. Progress is also happening on essential infrastructure, the bread and butter of city operations. At the wastewater reclamation plant, the city is continuing our $92 million modernization effort. While much of this work is not highly visible, it is crucial to health and safety, protecting the environment, and ensuring long-term system reliability. As construction activity increases, we are also working to ease its impact on neighbors with real-time communication and wayfinding tools created in partnership with Mayo, DMC, and the RDA. Enhanced signage and digital resources will help residents and visitors move safely and confidently through shifting routes. A lot of our construction activity is being completed through strong investments and partnership between the city, DMC, and our major employer. This year, you'll see those investments put to work aligning utilities and transportation, which will eventually be topped with inviting public realm location. A major theme here is partnerships. It's part of Rochester's DNA. It's how we get things done here. Our Coalition for Rochester Area Housing has become a national model. Some of the coalition's work include paving the way for construction on affordable senior housing development at the West Transit Village with 75 new homes, including deeply affordable units and homes for seniors experiencing homelessness. In addition, 3 local multifamily projects have received state housing funds and interest from developers, resulting in more than 1,600 owner-occupied lots proposed, approved, or under construction. Together, these investments reflect a balanced housing strategy that expands affordability, supports seniors, and grows home ownership. I want to highlight one other partnership since we are here at the Mayo Civic Center, and that is the work between the city and Experience Rochester. Even as downtown experiences significant construction, this partnership continues its upward trajectory to successfully market Rochester, attract visitors, and support local businesses. Last September, we saw record-setting lines streaming around the block to see comedian Nate Bargatze. We should expect the same when Bob Dylan makes his only Minnesota stop here in Rochester this March. So thanks to Joe Ward and his Experience Rochester team, this is a space that feels alive and connected to the momentum of the city. What makes this partnership stand out is that it reflects shared values and a commitment to long-term success. It's a model based on clear objectives, adaptable as conditions change, yet focused on measurable outcomes for the bottom line. It reminds me of the old adage from the 1980s that Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev used with each other: trust but verify. It's a principle, trust but verify, that you'll see time and time again as we move forward, whether it's with the regional sports complex, a potential partnership with RCTC on expanded indoor recreation, or future visions for the historic Chateau Theater, which we'll be exploring on Monday. At the heart of these partnerships are community and civic leaders working together, leveraging shared commitment and meeting challenges head-on. From the City Council, expect to see more of these partnership reach down even deeper into our community, with neighborhoods, nonprofits, social service organizations. We've made real progress in 2025 to enhance trust and respect among the council, the mayor, the city staff, and we've increased opportunities to engage residents and create a more inclusive glide path to our decision-making. Later this morning, the mayor will share about our work to bring even more citizen input into our decision-making. In conclusion, as we move through 2026, cranes and construction will be part of the story, but so will collaboration, operational excellence, and strong partnership. Together, this ensures that as we build, Rochester remains connected, welcoming, and forward-looking. Thank you.
Good morning, all. It's good to be here. I'm Dave Senjum, recently elected as the Olmsted County Chair, which is certainly a great honor. It's certainly a great challenge. Let me just look across the audience here quickly. I want to acknowledge Commissioner Laurel Podolsky-Smith. Laurel, it's good to see you here this morning. Are there any other commissioners? Okay. With that, then, let's just proceed. We've got, can you flick the slide, Michelle? Okay. So just thinking about the Olmsted County and where we are, and certainly where we're going, this is what Olmsted County is all about. And the words on the screen are real words. They're not shell words. They're not shell words that certainly sit on the shelf. They're actually words, and surprising to me because I've been involved in a lot of initiatives, these are words that we live by. As we come to each meeting, as we think about what we're going to do in Olmsted County, we actually have carefully put this group of words together, but we frankly live by them, and they are certainly guiding principles. I'm not going to go all the way through them, but I would note in terms of the priorities on the bottom, we talk about, if you will, well, let's just leave it at that. You've read them. I'm going to go through the community priorities as well anyway. The first one being community safety and well-being. As we think about our community, and certainly obviously safety is a central form of government from the standpoint of what it does and what people expect out of government, we've done a lot of things, and certainly the things that you think of are important, but one of the novel things, I believe, to some degree, is what we have recently got involved with in terms of our mobile crisis unit and how that, in fact, relates and integrates with law enforcement in terms of working in situations which are sensitive, are potentially explosive, and where we bring, in fact, social workers into that framework and allow them then to work with law enforcement on these sensitive and perhaps highly risky situations, and they help mitigate them certainly a whole lot better. As we think about people in that situation, sometimes people with badges and guns at their side aren't maybe the right, although they're good in their heart, they may not be the right kind of person cosmetically at that point to, in fact, go forward and mitigate that situation. Going on then, responsible growth and development. This is, I think, one of the essential considerations of government in this county, in this city going forward. How we grow and how do we develop is certainly important. And again, the county thinks about this a lot, as well as the city, and I know even the school district. Providing the essential infrastructure is important. The picture there is what you see in terms of what we have out at the Byron interchange and working on that right now in terms of getting rid of those stoplights on Highway 14, an important safety consideration. But if you drive across the roads of Olmsted County, and particularly our Olmsted County road system, I think you'll see a road system that is frankly as good as any road system in Minnesota. We take a lot of pride in that in terms of what we have and being able to, again, provide access for our people to crisscross Olmsted County on good roads and safe roads. As we think about all of this, though, it takes a lot of long-range planning. Housing is an important part of our long-range development plans and our HRA. Certainly each and every day, literally almost every 2 weeks, we're talking about some element of housing in Olmsted County that is going to be new and different and better as we, again, move ahead along this long journey towards trying to, in fact, meet the housing needs in Olmsted County. And likewise, recreation, parks and trails. We have a wonderful Parks and Trails department. The work that they do is absolutely magnificent. There's been great improvements at Chester Woods, and there's been great improvements at Oxbow. I don't know if you've been there, but certainly go there if you haven't. And we continue down that road as we think about our park master plan, which we updated this year. And then again, you see one of the Red Hawk homes, I guess it's gone now, on that slide. But nonetheless, that's something that I think we've taken a lot of pride in. Community trust and engagement. Terribly important part of any government function is be trusted. If you're not trusted, you have nothing. And as we think about that, I think, and just thinking about the Olmsted County governmental system through the years, I believe to the core it's a trusted system. It's performed well, and it's going to perform well into the future. We do resident surveys. We have a new initiative on board right now called MOVE, Mobilizing Olmsted Voices for Equity. And this is a group of people that come together and make sure that the people within our community that maybe aren't represented at the level of being here, for instance, today, are able to get voices into our system. And we're proud of that, and we're going to certainly be working with that group going forward. Environmental sustainability, a real big initiative within Olmsted County the last couple of years. Not to say it wasn't before that, but we've taken a lot of initiative in this area. We have a new material recoveries facility that's going to be breaking ground on this year. This is a $60 million project, so it's no small initiative, and it will help us going into the future. Reuse items, recycle items, and make us a whole lot more efficient, especially in those terms, but even at the carbon emissions level. This is going to be a great initiative. We're going to have the best in the world, I believe, in terms of this kind of facility right here in Olmsted County. And then I just think about what our city or county has done, city as well, frankly, because we do work in partnership. But over the last couple of years, we have, you probably don't know this, we have 12 solar arrays now within the framework of Olmsted County. We've got 5 geothermal systems. We have EV chargers at all of our facilities. And more recently then, and going into next year, we have a new sustainability coordinator that's coming on board, and we're going to be doing great things there. Energy Park is noted on this slide. We're going to do a lot of work. Energy Park is that property just east of the Olmsted County Waste to Energy facility. It's 70 acres. We're working a lot, certainly, on that in terms of its future, making it the kind of place that can frankly take advantage of the waste energy steam that we have available and become a viable part of our community from the standpoint of infrastructure on that property. And then somewhat lastly, the effective workforce. And I marvel at each and every time I come to an Olmsted County meeting, I sit amongst, I think, some of the finest people in the world from the standpoint of what they do and how they do it. They're amazing people. They know their subject. They work with us enormously well. And frankly, they work within their units enormously well. So fostering that into the future, making sure that our workforce is the kind of workforce that's going to continue to work and prosper, frankly, on behalf of the Olmsted County residents is terribly important to our board and terribly important to our community. And we continue to be proud of them and make sure that kind of workforce and that ethic continues. The challenges lying ahead for Olmsted County, really, in fact, if you think about any area, I don't care if it's housing or whatever it might be, the challenges are going to be growth. We live in one of the fastest growing places, perhaps in the upper Midwest. We can look at the history here in terms of the data at the bottom of the chart. It shows between now and 2050, we're going to grow to a community of 209,000. And I will just back off a bit and tell you a little bit of what's not on this slide. If you go back to 1975, Olmsted County was 88,000. Now we're 166,000. That's a 90% increase. If we go forward then 2025 to 2075, this place is going to be 315,000 people, the size of a St. Paul. So just thinking in terms, is that believable? Of course it is. So we have a lot of things to think about how we grow and how we move this county forward. There's no question about that. Fiscal challenges are important as we consider this. Revenue versus obligations are always an issue, and trying to meet those obligations with existing revenue, and especially increasingly stress on the property tax, is a big one, which I think all units of government need to think about, and certainly will. As we think about state and federal priorities, again, no question about that. There's more and more of a trend, of course, cost shifting away from state and federal governments onto taxpayers at both the city and the county levels. That's painful. We're not used to that. We're perhaps going to have to get used to that, and that gets us into this whole thing about what we really do and what we can't do. So a lot of that kind of conversation is going to go forward. And lastly, just a vision for the future. I think our Olmsted County, in fact, I think our city of Rochester as well as our school district, the future is certainly bright. There's a lot of things we're going to be working on going forward. Mental health is a big one, frankly, across Minnesota. And more than likely you're going to hear and see our county board doing a lot of work in that initiative this coming year. And as we think about housing, likewise. But being innovative in every area, including energy, is important to us. So I have a chance to work with and for a marvelous government. I'm proud of it. I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to be there. And I'm happy that you're here tonight, or this morning rather, to be part of this initiative. Coming together as city and county and school district is really important. I don't think we do enough of it. I hope that as we go into this coming year that we can do more of it, and we need to. As we talk about the challenges of the future and the growth of our community, it's important that we all come together, and more now than ever, and talk about how we do this and how we make our city, our county, our school district the best ever. So thank you so much.
Good morning. I'm Kathy Nathan, Chair of the Rochester Public School Board, and I'm proud to be here representing Rochester Public Schools and my colleagues that are here today. Thank you, Mayor Norton, for the invitation to share an update on our mission at Rochester Public Schools to equip every student with the knowledge, independence, and resilience to pursue a fulfilling path, and how we are living the vision that we have provided to you on the bookmarks that are at your seats. This year, we are about halfway through a year that contains major milestones to improve outcomes for our students. The first milestone, we will complete the implementation of our current 3-year Planning for Purpose strategic plan. The building blocks of that plan are a reflection of what our community told the district to focus on. to improve academic outcomes, build student and staff wellness, and give our students their best chance for success in learning and life. In December, we reported a set of outcomes to the community that demonstrate how Planning for Purpose has made a difference over the past 3 years. At your table or chair, you have the full set of statistics, but let me give you some highlights. Since the implementation of our current strategic plan, we've seen increases in reading and math proficiency in both 3rd grade and 8th grade, an 11.4% increase in consistent attendance, and a 2.2-point increase in on-time graduation from high school. We implemented a new research-based literacy curriculum with 660 teachers and staff completing a rigorous program of professional development in the science of reading. We've completed almost 3,000 mental health assessments, enabling staff to identify students who may benefit from therapy or other supports. And students logged in to the post-secondary planning Zello platform over 192,000 times to explore and develop pathways to college, careers, and future success. These outcomes are a testament to the commitment and hard work of our outstanding educator, staff, and administrators, who every day welcome over 17,500 students into our buildings and engage with our parents and caregivers to help them best support their children in our schools. They implemented the multiple initiatives of the strategic plan while addressing the diverse academic, social, and emotional needs of our students in real time. We are remarkably fortunate in Rochester Public Schools to have these adults serving our community's children. And we are remarkably fortunate to have the diversity of cultures, languages, ethnicities, and life experiences that our students and their families bring to our Rochester Public Schools community. So the second milestone. By this May, RPS will develop, and the school board will approve, the next strategic plan for implementation through 2030. At our January 6th meeting, we heard about extensive community feedback that has been completed and major themes and focus areas that are being researched for the next strategic plan. Over the next few months, the school board and community will hear about the work of 3 design committees, elementary, middle, and high school, to develop concrete recommendations. They are reviewing district data, considering stakeholder input, examining research on best practices, and generating ideas grounded in the values and needs of our community. The superintendent will review committee recommendations, balance competing priorities, and make judgments about what could be accomplished with available resources as the strategic plan is drafted. We are committed to transparency in sharing our plans, our progress, our resources, and our outcomes. We're also committed to use every dollar entrusted to us efficiently and effectively. We are focused on maintaining and increasing enrollment in RPS, as enrollment is a main driver for the revenue available we have to operate our schools. We are encouraged by the increased enrollment we achieved this year. However, our expenses continue to outpace our revenues, primarily due to the increased costs of services, supplies, and materials, and increases in salaries, benefits, and insurance. As a result, RPS will be making a reduction of $8.3 million in our budget this year. But we are committed to finding these reductions through improvement in district operational efficiencies. However, as almost 80% of our expenditures are in salaries and benefits, we will have to consider reductions in district staff as well. We continue to be grateful for our stakeholders and the many people and organizations who have partnered with us in Rochester and beyond to support our students and advance the strategic priorities of RPS. Many of you in this room are among those partners, and we thank you. One of the consultants helping us collect community feedback for the 2030 strategic plan concluded that the Rochester community is extraordinarily eager and uniquely positioned to be systematically involved in supporting and improving its public schools. We hope you will all continue to stay informed and committed to the RPS vision that every student thrives in school and in life. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to be here, Mayor. Thank you for the invitation. I was taking notes as I was hearing from others, and just a few key takeaways that I heard. Run amok, kick up some dust, live by these words, I think you said, honor our land, and relish the diversity. So I stand here today among friends and colleagues and leaders and partners, and as I was reflecting on how to deliver this presentation in the context of the events of yesterday, I was inspired by just the moment walk over here in the Skyway. You know those banners that run across that say, "Together we create, together we innovate, together we learn"? And I realized this is the perfect moment for this State of the City address, for this environment. So it's a privilege to be with you. I talked to somebody a moment ago about this, and he said, you know, it's about building our community that will protect us as best we can. And so this is about community building. So let me make a few comments. I have a beautifully prepared speech. Jamie, thank you. Which includes, as a must, list of accomplishments, right? We always start by what's happened and what's gone well. And last year, DMC, this community, let's call it this community, certainly the work of DMC, but certainly the work of all of us together. We passed a decade of progress. And by the numbers, 3 new public spaces, refurbished or enhanced. I mean, think about Soldiers Field. Have you been on the lazy river? 9 historic buildings rehabilitated. In this moment of transformation and change, people are reinvesting in retaining the heritage of our community. 15 underutilized blocks redeveloped in the last 10 years. Walk through our downtown, and every street you walk on is a vibrant, vital place that was once vacant. 17% increase in jobs. 22 international delegations business delegations visiting Rochester because they want to learn how to work with our community. 100% increase in downtown housing. After 15 years of no new downtown housing, doubling the number of downtown residents. And that's not to say that everything has gone perfectly, but fortunately, we live in a community, a very engaged community, whose members are happy to tell us when things haven't gone perfectly. But we need both the humility to welcome this feedback and the nimbleness to make improvements in our processes, our communications, our feedback loops, because we have so much more ahead. And living into this well-deserved, well-earned reputation as America's city for health requires that we are intentional, that we are bold, that we take risks, and that we fail from time to time. When we talk about Rochester producing some of the most amazing health tech in the country, it's not to brag. It's to help make the case why an international company should consider expansion into Discovery Square. Can I tell you something? Biolabs began construction on Monday and will open in October. Opening doors to innovators and startups and entrepreneurs. When we talk about UMR, when we talk about the University of Minnesota, one of only 2 new public universities in the entire country, let me say that again, one of only 2 new public universities in the country in the 21st century. and their incredible growth, enrollment growth. It's not to brag. It's to give the Board of Regents confidence that it's the right place to make continued investment. And can I tell you something? Last month, President Cunningham committed to doubling the capacity at UMR. And when we talk about the amazing experiences in our downtown, comedy shows at Mayo Civic Center, Thursdays downtown, unique chef-owned restaurants, cultural events, it's not to brag, it's to attract more offerings, more unique, one-of-a-kind offerings. And can I tell you something? The Children's Museum, this incredible asset under 15 years of growth, is imagining its new future, contemplating its new next move. Imagine an architecturally inspired, program-rich facility in the downtown, perhaps next to Soldiers Field. No, they didn't say that, I'm saying it. And when we talk about infrastructure investment underway, Riverfront, 6th Street, bus rapid transit, investment around the Kutsky neighborhood, it's not to brag. I mean, who brags about construction disruption? It's to remind ourselves that we have this once-in-a-generation opportunity to do something truly spectacular, constructing our streets, our buildings, our public spaces to measurably improve health and well-being. And can I tell you something? It's already happening. Link Bus Rapid Transit is the embodiment of these values. Electric, fare-free, safe, convenient, connected, systems integrated, and it will be operational in 18 months. So I will end here, and I will end by quoting Winston Churchill. Actually, he didn't say this, but it sounded cool to say it that way. There's only one thing worse than a city going through change, and that's a city not changing. Thank you.
We are so lucky to live in a community with such strong leaders, and I want to thank each of them for sharing a glimpse of their vision and plans for the coming year and years. I truly appreciate our monthly meetings with local elected leaders, and DMC for that matter, and all that they have committed to do everything they can to make this community strong, safe, and a wonderful place to live, work, and play. We've had a chance to see the city's year in review, and it's fair to say that we had another tremendously busy year. So thank you to the staff, some of which are here, for all that you did to make that happen. And I want to let you all know that the mayor's office also has wrapped up a very busy year in 2025 as well. And I'm going to share a bit of that with you this morning. And so now I'm going to ask that they put on the video, thank you, that Tyler did for us, and it's really special. So thank you, Tyler, for pulling that together. It's not everything, but it's a lot of what happened last year, and I'll talk a little bit about a few of those things. The Year About Youth designation for 2025 was relevant and important, especially in light of the incident where a child was targeted by racism in one of our local parks. We responded immediately by addressing the issue publicly, offering and distributing thousands of yard signs and hundreds of Not in Our Town window signs. Every child deserves a strong base of familial and community support in order to grow into the kind of adult that is happy, healthy, and giving. The Hunt Institute Fellowship provided a great backdrop for this work on youth, children, and childcare. We've continued our work with Cradle to Career this year and helped them move their annual education summit to the Mayo Civic Center right here, where they saw remarkable growth in attendance, and it was just a wonderful year. The mayor's office sponsored their evening keynote reception and address by the renowned Dr. Amit Sud. We are grateful for his support and generosity. I continue to speak at classes at Rochester Public Schools, Rochester Community Technical College, University of Minnesota about city government every year, and I meet with the students when they ask. Partnerships with several organizations such as 180 Degrees, Civic League, Family Child Care, Inc., Restorative Justice, and others allowed the mayor's office to support the great work already being done in our community for children and youth through proclamations, attending events, and general support. The Rochester-Olmsted County Youth Council has continued to grow and develop, and we were able to provide scholarships for leadership and travel for 3 youth this year. We also sponsored a children's activity at Rochester Fest. You saw the kids on the barrel ride. That was fun. Great fun for our littlest kids, and also the Honkers Play Ball Baseball Camp. We had over 300 registrants. It was a pouring rain day, and we still had 125 kids show up, which was amazing. And the rain did stop in order for the kids to have a great time. Lastly, we were honored to sponsor a remarkable student intern, Maddie Banks, who helped us tremendously over the summer with all of these events, especially with Safe City Nights and our summer art efforts. And let's not forget, we ended the year with our New Year's Eve party here at Mayo Civic Center. A fun, safe celebration of our city, and we topped 6,000 attendees again this year. What a great way to end 2025 and to kick off 2026. So kudos and thanks to the Mayo Civic Center and the wonderful staff here for continuing to bring more and more people to great events all year long, and you heard that mentioned before. As you saw in the video, the mayor's office sponsored a significant number of summer art activities, including the Art Center during the Riverside concerts, as well as Art Stop at the Summer Forward concert series. And we hosted both dance and visual arts students for children by bringing local artists to the Rochester Public Schools summer school program. It was a great partnership. A huge thanks to Michonne Rogers, who facilitated this and so many other of the activities that come out of our office every year. Thank you, Michonne. Could we please give her a hand? Very well deserved. She puts up with me all year. I don't know how she does it. The pieces you see along the wall over here are some of the peaceful neighborhood-themed projects that took place. Just a few of them. The big boards were too big to fit in my car. So why that particular theme? It was tied to our international travel to Japan. We attended as a group the 80th memorial of the bombing of Hiroshima. It was part of our visit, a very meaningful part of our visit, as well as we belong to the Mayors for Peace. And that started with Ardell Brady, and I've been proud to continue to support that effort. In 2025, our office continued efforts to improve community health by partnering with organizations and hosting events on our own. Some of them pertain to active living and improving health. A few examples of this are the 6th year of Move with the Mayor, where we sponsored several morning walks this year at RCTC. And by the way, RCTC's tracks are open every single day to the public in the morning. So when it's snowy and cold, go out there, lots of parking, you can walk. I appreciate the City Council's participation in this year's event, and I want to thank them, several of them are here that attended, for joining me. I hope these initiatives support and improve our community, and they're part of not just my efforts, but the efforts of the City Council, the city staff as well. It's heartening to see food access also be a priority of the City Council when they offered emergency funding for food access during the government shutdown and the threats to SNAP benefits. We gathered and supported a number of health-focused events, including Med City Marathon, Dr. Brewer's Faith Initiative, the Rochester Clinic's Lifestyle Medicine Conference, We Bike Rochester Rides, and more. We focused on healthy eating by participating in the Mayor's Alliance for Childhood Hunger, the Olmsted County Food Coalition, along with working with the Village Co-op to grow and support our local farmers in various ways, including adding the MLK Park Sunday Farmers Market. And we also did the Apple a Day program, which you saw in the video with our schools. Working with area nonprofits, we have applied for several grants, and while we don't know for sure, we have our fingers crossed that we'll be hearing soon about whether we've won these grants or not. Should know in a couple weeks. Rochester has some amazing numbers regarding economic development, and that has not happened by accident. Our continued focus with our business partners has made a difference. On your tables, you'll find a handout from the Chamber of Commerce's website. Hopefully they don't mind that I stole that. It has a number of listings and information about economic development in the city of Rochester. Those of you on chairs have that on your chair as well. And I'm not going to read it to you, but I do want to point out 3 of the number ones. We're the #1 most livable mid-sized city. We're #1 city to start a new business. And of course, we have the #1 hospital in the world with Mayo Clinic. Those other, maybe not #1s, but in the top fives are pretty impressive as well. So please look that over. We have much more to celebrate. Mayo Clinic's $5 billion forward and bound development, the exciting biolabs expansion that was mentioned, UMR's announcement of growth in enrollment, 79% increase in new undergrads this year, and we now serve over 1,100 students. And as was pointed out by Patrick, the U of M's commitment to growing the campus downtown, thus bringing more talented youth into our city. Additionally, we have a very vibrant foodie environment, and RDA's done a terrific job with downtown events despite construction. And we've been able to celebrate the first 10 years of DMC. And all this points to a strong and growing economy. There's been a lot to celebrate and feel good about. Our challenge and our charge is to build on this fantastic momentum. And speaking of economic development connections, this year our International Relations Committee really took off. After almost 3 years of stagnation due to COVID, we reignited the group and began an exciting year centered on rebuilding and growing our sister city relationships, of which we have 5. The IRC committee had a booth at Oktoberfest, participated in numerous high school and community cultural events with tables and displays, and attended the recent opening of the Cultural Center in Southeast Rochester. We have active friendship committees for each of our 5 sister cities, and you are invited to join one. Some of you here actually belong to them. They also began work on a new sister city relationship with Cambodia, and we're finalizing that actually right now. We also reestablished former relationships built by Mayors Hazama and Brady. This past summer, the committee helped organize a trip for 20 Rochester residents to visit Japan, and we had a wonderful experience in Akita where we re-energized past relationships from what was called Flight 21, which came to Rochester with 120-some folks from Akita. And some of those folks were at our dinner, which was really fun. I joined WSU instructor Joel Traver and a group of 19 WSU students on the last 3 days of their weeks-long travel and study in South Korea, our sister city, Seong City, where we met with the mayor, city councilors, and staff, and we had tours of colleges, environmental centers, manufacturing sites, tourism efforts, and museums in the 2.5 days I was there. These important connections have led to relationships with DMC on a recent visit and laid the groundwork for potential business and exchange opportunities. Our sister city of Pyongyang, China, was a final visit as part of a mayor's delegation I was honored to lead, and which focused on healthcare, wellness, environmental issues, agricultural economics, all important issues right now. And again, there was significant interest from around the world at each of the visits that we made in Rochester and what we're doing here and the great things that they're learning about DMC and more. We're planning a trip to Germany in June to visit 2 of our sister cities, And we invite you all to join us. There are brochures at the table over there. Please grab one and take a look. It should be educational and enjoyable. One of my designated roles as mayor is to oversee the police department. And I'm proud of the rapport and respect Chief Franklin and I have developed and maintained in the toughest of times, and there have been some. The RPD continues to focus on community policing as well as being a leader in public safety using advanced technology to assist in identification, apprehension, and collection of solid evidence to assist the county and courts in prosecution and sentencing. On the screen are just a few of the points of data from RPD to help you understand the breadth of calls and services our peace officers handle every day. Examples of some newer services to support public safety include the use of drones and adding staff for crimes against children and sex trafficking, something I think we all support. The Rochester Fire Department and emergency management teams are great partners in addressing crisis beyond RPD's reach and expertise, and while I'm not directly involved in the day-to-day work that they do, the City Council and I have participated in with a broad group of residents, some of which are here, and city employees in emergency response trainings last year and again this year very recently. All of our city response teams provide caring, supportive approaches to all of our residents. Assisting our friends experiencing homelessness has become a larger part of their roles. We need to seek ways to address the drivers of homelessness, which are mental health, chemical dependency, and affordable housing availability, so that we can assure safety for all of our residents. As mayor, I work with our legislative staff, our legislators, and League of Minnesota Cities on state and national issues. I was blessed to be appointed to serve last year as the NLC Human Development Chair, which gave me a seat on the board for a year. And then this past summer, I was elected to be a full board member, and I'm excited about that new role for the coming years. I'm also active on the University Cities Committee, the REAL Committee, which is Race, Equity, and Leadership, and the Early Childhood Committees and more. Not only do these opportunities provide advocacy and learning opportunities several times a year, they also provide access to grants, funding, cohort relationships, and recognitions that benefit our community. An example would be the grants for entrepreneurships and small business growth and the better public meeting support that we're getting, as well as recognition for our community in areas such as sustainability and diversity. They are also a great training opportunity for state and national advocacy, which we're able to do both in St. Paul and Washington, D.C. As a mayor selected for the Bloomberg City Leaders Initiative back in 2020, the city and I have been invited to attend trainings and receive opportunities. We did have the Global Mayor's Challenge Grant a number of years ago, but also get invited to City Lab, the G40 climate summits, which we haven't gone to, but we're invited to. Many Harvard and Johns Hopkins courses on city issues like data use, AI, procurement, negotiations, and most recently, community engagement. I continue to take advantage of the Harvard education classes for cities that provide expertise, support, and growth on topics that matter. Most recently, it was a course called Leadership for Social Impact. Through our relationship with the U.S. Conference of Mayors and the Mayor's Innovation Project, I'm able to connect with mayors from across the city, either in person or on the web. And I serve on the MIP Advisory Committee and share about Rochester at their annual education and training gatherings. Recently, geothermal, DMC, and economic development. I also have testified at the U.S. Conference of Mayors numerous times on water quality and PFAS. We do a great job here in Rochester, and it's an important issue, particularly for our firefighters, that we address the PFAS. One resulting opportunity here for Rochester has been that we were selected to be part of the Regulatory Justice Cohort, which started this fall and will continue to be a focus in the coming year. An exciting accomplishment this year was the December ribbon cutting for the Statues for Equality. This was a project that's in Central Park. Please go take a look at Amelia Witherstein. It's a statue created by Gillian Mark, who are renowned Australian artists. Amelia was selected because of her role as the first woman elected to office in Rochester. She was the first woman to serve as chair of the Rochester School Board and the first woman to serve on a jury in Olmsted County. And now, because of Virginia Wright Peterson's research, we are learning so much more about her and the effect that women have had in our city's history. It's actually quite remarkable. I couldn't be more pleased that individual residents, area clubs, like Rotary clubs, who gave us a grant, the UU Women's Group, the League of Women Voters, Rochester Area Foundation, Greater Rochester Arts and Cultural Trust, and a number of businesses, Mayo Clinic, F&M Bank. F&M Bank has a $6,000 matching. I need to match it with 3, so if anybody's got a few bucks in their pocket, let me know before you leave. And then we will have completely paid that off. Those generous donations have helped this opportunity become a reality. A special thanks to the HPC, our Historic Preservation Group, Parks Department, and the City Council for designating Central Park as a historic designation this year. This lovely public square and park, the history it encapsulates and preserves, will keep its rightful place downtown even as we continue to grow. Watch for the final touches on Amelia's story and statue this summer as the plantings and plaque are added. As I look back over 2025, I can't help but be struck by the exhausting and exhilarating amount that our small office has done, and I've just mentioned a few things. It's been a very, very busy year, which is why Michonne needed that. She should have a standing ovation, actually, for what she does. We're a small office. It's really just the 2 of us, but we have had tremendous support from nonprofits and individuals in this community. As we look back, we can be proud. As we look ahead, I'm really excited about celebrating America's 250th birthday, and I'm excited about what lies ahead for America's City for Health. A new and revised set of goals by the City Council have outlined a path that will support this growth as well. As a reminder, the City Council's strategic priorities are goals that guide the city's budget, capital projects, and legislative efforts, aiming to create a vibrant, well-serviced, and growing city. But this is where our effort should be, and I really appreciated the thought that the council put into choosing these. Additionally, we must take a look at what the community has told us that they want for their community in the years ahead. Our budget, our policies, our actions should focus on these topics and the areas that the community has designated as well. The city administrator and fabulous city staff's role is to see that we have a smooth-running city that reflects these goals and objectives. To continue to provide excellence in each department, that's their role. And we look forward to the continuation of their great effort and work. The need for authentic community engagement and better public meetings has been glaringly evident in the past few years. I am pleased to report that a group of city staff attended a Harvard course on community engagement and that learning should become evident in the years ahead. It is my hope that this training, our efforts through the National Civic League, and that's for the better public meetings, and by continuing to draw from the Rochester Vision, or RV 2050 information gained from our community, so that the actions that we take as a city revolve around the key themes that we hear and have heard from our community. The 10 things is a handout on your table, and it has the city's logo on the top of it or on your chair. And it lists, and I'm not going to read them, the 10 things that the community said that they wanted. It's not the specific things, it's kind of categories. A couple I'll point out is on number 2, safer pedestrian and bike infrastructure, came out very high. Another one worth mentioning, I think, is under 3, business, economic development strategies that benefit locally owned enterprises. On number 6, improving the downtown quality, more to do outside business hours, improved safety and walkability in our community. So again, I'm not going to read all 10 of those for you, but they are important and that should be our focus, and I think it highlights very nicely what we heard from the community. One relatively new addition that will continue in 2026 is another RV, which I hadn't realized until I was putting this together, and that's Rochester Voices. And then we also have a newsletter, and there's a QR code on your table to sign up for the mayor's newsletter. It's easy to read and comes out monthly. But the Rochester Voices is a monthly video series that shines the light on the people, events, and initiatives that shape our community. In an effort to pilot some new strategies for community engagement, you'll also be seeing some new town hall type gatherings in the coming year. We're planning one in the coming months. I think it's looking to be the first week in March, on the use of advanced technology in policing. This is a very timely topic. There are many changes happening, and the community doesn't know about or understand. So we're hoping this will be an opportunity to learn and then to ask questions and have them answered. Moving ahead, other timely topics that the City Council and community desire will be offered to inform and respond to our community. This is one change resulting from the National Civic League's Better Public Meeting efforts. We've heard from the community, and we're going to try to respond. The Office of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion continues its great work and is planning some community connections conversations, which you may hear about as well. It will bring diverse ideas and voices to the table. I would call it a variation of community co-design. And as we focus on our city priorities and community desires, you should be able to see your priorities being acted upon and used to direct staff to tackle the challenges that you've identified and prioritized. These changes will take time, but I'm hopeful that the council will continue to grow into their important leadership roles even more in the coming months. It's been a fun start this last year, and thank you, Randy, and the council for your work. There are two important programs that the staff, city council, and mayor's office have embraced in the coming year. Both are concerning economic development. The regulatory justice work and our growing small businesses and entrepreneurship will help strengthen our economy, which we can proudly say leads the state and much of the nation in workforce development. We can always do better and do better for more people. And that is what these initiatives and the extra support and staffing that we will have will help us do moving ahead. We'll continue to ask our partners at the Chamber, at Ready, Collider, and other business partners to help us improve regulatory and business environments so that all businesses can thrive and that we can continue to grow and diversify our economy. Council President Schubring, in the past, County Commissioner Tyne, now Commissioner Senjum, and Kathy Nathan with the school board, and congratulations on continuing your leadership in another year, have worked well together, and we have discussions about what's happening. We are excited about the DMC efforts, Health in Everything focus. More specifically, as Patrick shared, just the past DMC meeting, we're going to be using health as an economic driver, health in the built environment, and health excellence as an attractor as a competitive strategy. Health is our city's advantage. It fuels our economy. It inspires people to call Rochester home. But growth is happening outside of our downtown area as well, and this is good and to be expected in a growing city. The Mayo development is just getting underway, so please know that there will be disruptions in the coming years. But the new signage, the focus on wayfinding that was mentioned, and better planning through collaboration between the city and Mayo should help minimize the impacts. The fare-free Link Bus Rapid Transit will be in its final phases this next year, maybe a little more, and we can hope that at this time next year, the end will be in sight, the buses will be up and running, and it will be an exciting time. And we're going to be beginning work on the 6th Street Bridge and the Riffle Dam in Silver Lake as well. The new Silver Lake Pool will open this summer. The skate park is getting an upgrade. I'm always amazed when I walk by there and I see kids there all the time. And if we keep our focus citywide on health and design, it will also keep us focused on health and safe street design. And this is always a little controversial, but there must be safe passage designed for walking, biking, buses, driving, and every variation of those means of travel. No one wants to fear hitting a pedestrian or cyclist, and certainly no pedestrian or cyclist wants to be hit by a car or bus. So let's plan our streets for our growing population that are safe and comfortable transportation avenues for all. So please, let's not fragment on this issue. It's my hope that we can pull together to support development that supports a multimodal, safe, active transportation for all focus as we look at design and events that bring people together and create a sense of community. One effort that Council President Schubring, Councilmember Wall, and I are undertaking on behalf of the council and community is the partnership with Rochester Community and Technical College to enhance the sports complex to create a community sports center that has opportunities for everyone. The staff, city staff has been involved in those meetings as well as President Boyd, who is key to this. My wish would be for an agreement in the coming months and efforts to replace the dome and update the current facility this year with added community amenities and that are desired with programming and management agreements shortly thereafter. This is a much-needed project, and it is a priority for us. If there is one message that I want to share today, it's that our city, known for care and compassion, must also be an oasis for caring not just for those who visit here, but for everyone who calls Rochester home. While I don't want to get too political, we can't ignore the disturbing actions and language coming from the federal level that has been targeting Minnesota. Hateful rhetoric and othering of old and new immigrants from around the world, many who are citizens, legal immigrants, and asylum seekers. They are our friends and they are our neighbors in this an international city. The recent targeting of our Somali and Hispanic neighbors, the cuts to daycare providers, the targeting of our state, and even the despicable national rhetoric about my dear friends Melissa and Mark Hortman have been wearing and disheartening, and they need to stop. All of this can't be controlled here, but it can be combated right here at home in Rochester by providing the loving, supportive community that we have all valued for so many years. We can get to know our neighbors. We can reach out to those feeling frightened and show understanding. We can create the cosmopolitan canopy that researcher and writer Elijah Anderson talks about. I've talked about this for years. I heard him speak, and it is about creating places in our city that everyone feels welcome. I've advocated, and the city council's advocated for this in our urban transformations through DMC and city changes. When I ran for office in 2018, I talked about how special the people are here in Rochester. And it is we, the people, who need to create the city that we want to live in by creating safe and supportive neighborhoods, welcoming environments, and friendly workplaces. We need the help from supportive organizations like our neighbors and the Night to Unite events to help us to do this. I ask you to look for ways to create community, create that oasis or cosmopolitan canopy wherever and whenever you can, so that everyone feels welcome and respected in this great city. I can do all the proclamations, and the city council can do all the resolutions it wants, and I appreciate that they do, but it's all of you, our residents, who must join together to make it happen. I also will just let you know, I reached out to Mayor Fry yesterday in light of what's happened up in the cities to offer our condolences as they struggle through the horror of the response there. And I'm not going to speak any further about it, but I did reach out to him. On a lighter note, I'm hopeful for some fun activities in response to the country's 250th birthday. Perhaps tied to Rochester Fest. I'm hoping they're thinking about that. And some of our very plentiful, fun summer activities. An idea I had is a 250-person bike ride as part of Move with the Mayor. Maybe that can be what I do this year. Yeah, I see some clapping. But I have to say, we can't do hills. I just can't do little bumps, but I can't do big hills. So let's work on finding a path that I can manage. Next year, our New Year's Eve party will be 5 years old. And so I think we're going to plan some special activities for that. I hope some of you will help sponsor that wonderful event. If you didn't come, I recommend you come next year. It is the joyous part of the city of Rochester. It was certainly a fun day. And I'm open to new ideas. There's absolutely no reason the entire city shouldn't join in creating a healthy, safe community filled with fun activities for all ages. And because our future is in the hands of the youth, 2026 is a year about youth too. Please keep our young people in your thoughts and plans, no matter your job or position. Take a moment to volunteer, to donate to a local child-focused nonprofit, do a job shadow for youth at work, plan or sponsor a fun event. The research is clear. A child with one caring adult in their life can make their lives and chances for success better. I continue to find ways to partner with the City Council and our nonprofits and businesses on supportive efforts, and I hope to be able to host a Fall Youth Leadership and Success Summit this next fall. I've met with the Rochester Homestead Youth Council, and they are on board and are willing to help pull this together. So I think you'll see in September, October, we have to work around homecomings. We will have a summit, perhaps right here in the Civic Center. So I'm going to wrap up. I know that was a lot. Thank you so much for being here, for being a part of this fabulous and growing city. We do have a very bright future, and I'm just asking all of you to be part of making that happen. 2026 is going to be another busy year, so get on board and hold tight. Have a great day. Thanks.